For example, if you want to market their products, sell their products, you need to deposit some, you need to have some security deposits, okay? Now, you do that until you exhaust your prepaid balance. That means you now need to go back to the bank and remit your total collection. When you do that, your card comes back to your initial balance. It is that simple. That's exactly what we have written down here, page 33. Please open it. Page 33. I just tried to summarize it so that we can go straight to the practical session. Then you ask your question. Is that okay? Okay, now, what do we need to run this program? I have said it's a mobile setting of the EBS-RCM. You need a laptop system, you need a mobile printer or a printer, you need a special kind of card which I've mentioned. We call it agency card. And of course you need your ETCC card. The ETCC card is what you use to log on to the system. The password you need is the same password that you started with on the website. That's the same password that goes around the system. This whole thing we'll be talking about, they are all connected. Any payment you make here is also connected to those things you see on the website. You can actually make tax payment through this system and it's reflected real-time online on the database. And for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to use a test environment, a test database, and demonstrate to you what the bank actually does. Of course, you also need a card reader. Can I use this card reader? This is a card reader. You need this, just one. If you want to do additional things, you can use two. Now this is a card reader. I've just inserted it. This is what we call ePay application. This is exactly what the bank are running at their end. This is the locally customized Lagos State government application used at the bank to collect payment from taxpayers. What it does is capture payment details, post to Lagos State government, post to the bank system at the same time. It is no longer a case of I have paid to the bank have not reported it to the state government. The first point of call is Lagos State government's platform, which will now submit to the banking application. That is what you are doing at the bank. That's the same thing you do at the prepayment center. Now, before you can use this system, of course, you must be assigned as an agent. We tell you a PPCA, a prepayment collection agent. Of course, it has to be your administrator who will appoint you as an agent to run this kind of process. We are running it at every immediate tax stations we have in Lagos State. We are running it in the MDA stations. We are running it in local government centers. We are running it at the LBIC, those people that do LBIC water corporation collection as well. So now what you are required to do as an agent, you just log on with your ETCC card, the same card, there's no special card to log in, the same ETCC card, and launch the ePay application like the bank will do. Please, I want you to pay attention here. I don't want, after today, the bank will come up with those flimsy excuses they used to give. Don't take it from them again, please. This is what they do at the bank. Now, this is your logon card, it's telling you, I've seen you, welcome, close that to continue. I've done that, I'm done with this. The ETCC card, I return it. This is the special card I'm talking about. You insert it, and go with your password. I said for the purpose of what we're going to do, I'm going to use a test environment. Otherwise, it would have been Lagos. Did you see that? Talking about this location, Lagos, but I'm using a test server. It's the same thing, just for you to see. I say, okay, let me. I am on the system right now, and this is a special kind of card you need to run this system. I said we call it what? Agency card. What do we have here? Prepayment balance. That's the amount loaded on this card. So this man can run as much as this amount before the before the system can tell you you can no longer collect. Please go to the bank and remit back. Of course, you can actually remit as you receive. For example, if I have 100,000 balance in my card as a prepayment balance, and I was able to exhaust just 50,000 before the end of the business day, why should I keep 50,000 to myself? When I have the bank by the side, I just go to the bank, remit back the 50,000, and I have my balance. Of course, know that your administrator is always on you. The moment you click, pay 100 naira, is aware, you have seen it. You become immediately 100 naira short of your balance. And you can also view your reports. If I do a posting here, you can see it at the same time I have posted it. Now that's about that. So there's a payer before me now. He doesn't have a deposit slip. He only have the money and what do we ask them? I think they have a form for them, the mini tax station. They have a form for them. It's self-assessment that is made, yes. They have their details there, and they pay the fixed amount of 2,500 and the 100 naira development levy, and they have written it there. So the first thing you do is create pay ID for the customer. Somebody has mentioned pay ID creation before. So you do that on the website. I'm not going to repeat that. That's why we started from those sections. And once the pay ID has been created, the only thing you do here is go straight to File, Post Transactions. It's telling me that I need to synchronize this card. It has not reported. The way it has been programmed is this. The card I have given you, so that your administrator can also have a slip. The special card has a synchronization interval of 3 days. It means that if you don't interact with the system for 3 days, it will lock you out. It will force you to report. Anytime we say synchronize, we are telling you to update the content of the card with the database, with the system. Whatever you have done on the card, for example, you have done it offline. Offline means that it is local to you, it has not gone to the state government. Whatever you have done with the card offline, maximum 3 days you must report this card to the system. I used this card last 3 days ago. So I'm here today to try to use it to demo to you. It's forcing me to synchronize it. Now, I have done that. I go straight to post transaction. It's telling me that I don't have a card here. I don't have a second card. Is it that I want to proceed for a remote payer, somebody I don't have his card physically with me? I said yes. That's this question. No card, no user card found. Do you want to post for a remote payer? I will say yes. He asked me for the payer type. Somebody have explained. We have individual or corporate. Let us do which individual. And I have talked about the payer ID created. You know it. I use this as a test. Is that okay? I still verify. Just for us to be sure about the customer's details, that we are posting for the right person. It gives us the payers, the guy's name, Mr. Guest User. This is the address, this is the email address, and this is the person's card on the system. I can confirm, is that your name, is that your address? If that's okay, I say yes. Is this profile, is the profile, is the payer profile correct? Yes. And it gives us another form where we can fill in the details. The agency agency reference, that's the agency making the payment. I've told you it's a special card has been selected. You don't need to bother yourself over that. This is where you are interested in. Revenue code. What is it paying for? Let's do development levy. Is that okay? That's the code. I don't need to memorize the code. I know the revenue code, the name of the revenue, development levy. I just try to type development levy. I type dev. It gives me that. If it's a payee, for example, I don't need to memorize the code. Let's type payee, whether it will give it to us. P-A-E-A-Y-E. Did you see that? We want to do for development levy test. And that's the code. I select it. The account has been selected for you. You don't need to bother yourself over it. The next step is the assessment rev. Of course, you know that ideally every transaction should have an assessment reference from the tax office, but you don't do that. You don't usually assess them. So at this point, you can use the payer's name to just uniquely try to identify it. It doesn't need to be unique. For example, I'm going to say test for the purpose of what we're doing, and the amount is 100 naira. Is that okay? The deposit slip, we don't use deposit slip here. It is when the guy gets to the bank to remit the collection of the day, he needs to fill deposit slip. Remember, he's going to do 100 naira, for example, into 10 places. When he gets to the bank, he's no longer going to do 100 naira into 10 places. He's going to do only one deposit slip and fill the sum total of the day's collection. Are we getting it now? What the bank should have done, the agent has done it. He has reported, he has carefully submitted and reported transaction details to the state government. And he has now gone to deposit the cash to balance up his account. Once that is balanced, Lagos State government reports that he has collected this bulk amount from this bank. But the details of this bulk amount is coming from these agents. Does that make sense? Yes. At the bank, for example, everything they pay, everything they do, you can ask for it. Who pays this 10,000 naira? Who pays this 50,000 naira? Now, with this kind of arrangement, you know you are going to come in with, for example, 100,000 naira. Every time you bring 100,000 naira, is aware that this 100,000 naira was not actually, you're going to pay it in your name, in the agency name. You are not actually the origin of the 100,000 naira that you just deposited. So they can refer back to what you have done here before the 100,000 naira came. They are tied to, anytime you do a transaction, it's tied to the individual transaction that made up the sum.
Can I ask something?
Okay, go ahead.
Now, how do you link the owners of the development levy to the payment? I know you said they'll pay in bulk. Do you understand?
Yes.
But how does it reconcile?
Let me finish the presentation. He's going to answer your address. Okay. If it doesn't, I will answer that question. Now, let's finish with the transaction. There's no deposit slip. I put cash. He brought cash to me. Applied it. You may be paying for last year now. This is where you address that. Let's say it's paying for 2012. This is where you can do that. And the next thing is to pay to collector. And ask me this question, I said, review the transaction. Am I okay with it? Yes, post. It's now processing the transaction. It's actually reporting to the state government database. It's reporting to the banking application at the same time. This is what the bank does. It's doing that. We can see the process here. And the receipt will be generated. That's the receipt. And you are expected to print this and give it to the customer. sorry, I didn't ask us to take note of our balance before we started, but you will understand what I'm going to explain. Before we started, look at our prepayment balance. I think it has updated it here. You can take note of it now. We have 499,899. 499,899. When we were through now, it's going to be 100 naira shots. I now have 499,799. It was initially 499,899. And the administrator, this has been reported on his profile that you have collected 100 naira. The details of that 100 naira, let's refer back to the receipt. The receipt will have the name, we have the payer, we have the agency that he paid to, we have the revenue code, development levy, and everything about the transaction. Now, this guy continues. The next customer comes, continues, and he has gone up to 50,000 for the day. He goes back to the bank and pays 50,000. His card will remain balanced. His card will come back to the 100,000 that we started with. Now, how do we balance what the guy has done with what he has paid in the bank? He has just paid 50,000 naira. I go back to his profile for that day. I see more than 50,000. Believe me, it's not even going to be possible for me to see more than what he did not pay. Does that make sense? You have collected 50,000. You have gone to the bank to deposit that same 50,000. And I go to your profile. I can't see more than 50,000. It's only possible that I see less. That means in your balance, in your card balance, I will see more amount. What I'm saying is this. If I've given you a card that has 100,000 and I've programmed it not to do above 100,000, and you bring in, you have deducted 50,000 from your card, and you want to pay in 60,000. 100,000, you have deducted 50,000. You want to pay in 60,000, which would have made it 110. The system will not take it. It will ask for is 50,000. Do you understand? The only time we allow for expansion, for you to pay more money, is when they are doing enforcement. There's what they call enforcement at their end, when they just, go into the market and do collection from all payers at once, and they come with all their gadgets and their security agent for those stubborn customers that don't want to pay, that only pays by force. When they do that enforcement, they need a larger space to accommodate more money, and they make special requests for it. You expand the card, they take in more money and issue receipts immediately. The essence of this now. Madam, look at what I'm saying. I'm saying I have seen everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 you have collected. I have seen those people that paid and how much they paid. They all paid 100 naira. And I've seen their name, they all have payer ID. And this 100, the sum is there showing me 50,000. And at your bank end, you have paid 40. You are owing me 10,000. The guy doesn't need to make noise with you. He's there with you. Is that okay? So that's it about the system. And it also serves as the e-service center that we're talking about. There's nothing you want to do on the system that you cannot do here. Everything we'll be talking about has been going on a laptop, and this is a laptop. And has been going on a laptop that has internet access, and there's one here. And has been going on a laptop that can read a card, and there's one here. Is that okay? Yes. That is the summary of the EBS-RCM. I hope that's clear enough. If you have questions for me, I can take it. Okay. Let's take him.
What happens when you go to the bank? Probably you are in an informal sector. And,
You can sit down. Tell us your name.
My name is Shegun. You're working with an informal sector. Somebody comes and wants to pay 2.5. And probably you kind of collect the money because that's the PC machine. And you cannot generate receipt immediately. Now ask the person to go to the bank. Go to the bank, the cashier or whatever now said the server is down, EBS is whatever, and that the only time you can collect the money, because they won't collect the money without them seeing that the site is home. So they now say, okay, if only we can generate PIN for the person. And at the end of the day, you find out that you cannot pay the money, you can collect the money from you, you now have to start calling.
You know what he has said? He has told us, he has raised a challenge that this system, that actually gave birth to this kind of system that we're preaching about. Now, the bank has been saying this all along. We don't want it to happen again. Or we are tired of them not doing anything about it. And you have said, okay, since the bank is giving me excuse, I can actually do it for the customers. And I will now take my time to go to the bank after I have satisfied the customer has gone with his receipts. The cash is with you. But as far as the state government is concerned, the cash has been reported. The cash being with you means that you have not balanced your own side. You don't want that to be carried to the next day. In fact, if you must carry it to the next day, you have an explanation to do to your supervisor. Now, the issue we would have been looking at is when your own PPC machine is down. That means we are expected to see, those complaints that we've been getting from them. We just can't do anything again. When that complaint comes, you're there to rescue them. Now, if the bank is saying that there's no network, and you have network, what kind of network is he using? The only time that there will be no network is when this guy is down. I'm using Visa phone to connect to the internet. If my Visa phone is down, I probably may have Etisalat. I just plug in the Etisalat modem and I'm up again. That's how the system has been designed. And that means when the bank is saying that network is down, ask him exactly what he's saying. Is he saying that his own bank network is down? With what you have done now, you are actually running on the cloud. You've not gone down since you've gone to the cloud. You've not gone down for 1 minute.
Can I say something? Well, a few months ago, your system was totally down for weeks. And we could not pay money, we could not do anything. The taxpayer could not even pay anything. We didn't even receive ETCC card because you guys were not issuing. So in that kind of situation, what happens?
Okay, I know you are talking about. I know you are talking about the times we migrated to cloud. We had a challenge of system downtime. It was down for some days.
No, weeks. It wasn't days. It was weeks.
Hello. Because of the migration, it was down for some days. So for those days, we tried to do those system. Hello. Let me tell you the implication of what happened that time. While those transactions were coming, the banks were only, having those transactions come. They actually have collected the money. And what they do is they keep the money in their sundry account. The moment the system came up, they just flushed the transactions. It only created backlogs of transactions.
No, they did take money. I do direct assessment and I lost a lot of money because the taxpayer could not keep the money for so long and they spent it.
And they didn't come back.
They did not collect it from the bank.
They didn't come back to do the tax clearance again, to make the payments again.
You didn't hear me. In the Italian, they spent it. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. I lost a lot of money because they were going back and forth. Who wants to pay tax? So I think they just thought, why am I bothering myself? I just spent the money. I'm still chasing them till now.
Actually, it was a challenge. It was what happened. We're moving on to migrating to
yeah, I'm not blaming you. I mean, it can happen. What I'm saying is, what happens in that kind of situation? I'm not blaming anybody. It's a that's what I'm
going forward. What we have done right is that there will no longer be any time during migration that will be down for even a day.
Okay, you know why I know they were not lying?
Let's take your question.
ABC were not issuing cards.
Madam, it didn't give me from God is very that's more important to me. It is in the cloud. I'm not in the cloud. That's
so
what
our workshop is not important.
I'm not in the cloud. You are talking in the cloud now. I'm in the cloud.
So our workshop is not important.
Okay, what is home remittance? Home remittance, what is it? Personal home remittance.
Can we all listen to the answer to her?
No,
The first question she asked was
don't worry, you had
the
it valid.
GPC arrangement can work
You
offline.
had it valid.
Yes, it can work offline. When you are working offline, let me explain the offline process. When you are working offline, you can't issue this kind of receipt. To issue what we call temporary receipt. Temporary meaning that it has not been reported to the state government. It has been captured and cannot be deleted. Anytime there's a network and you synchronize your card, I said synchronization means updating the content of the card with the system content. The moment you synchronize your card, that transaction will come to the state government. And it will be reported that it was actually captured the time it was captured will be there. It's not going to be reporting it as the time that you just did it. Okay? And it will balance up everything. So it can work offline. When it works offline, the only implication is that you are only issuing a temporary receipt that cannot be validated. So that means when somebody presents a temporary, we'll be talking about verification of receipt. When somebody presents a temporary receipt to you to get a service, and you try to validate it, it's saying it's just going to be not found. It means that that transaction has not been synchronized. All you need to tell the customer is of course, you mention where it's coming from. Please tell the guy that captured this to synchronize the card for you. It's as simple as that. Once they do that, you confirm it again, it will return the details. It can work offline. The second question is if the revenue that you can collect. Now, I've been saying that it's a controlled environment. That means if I want you to collect only for development levy, I will program the system so. If your administration says or the state government says we want you to collect as much as this, that is exactly what it's going to be. So the milling stations collect exactly what they should collect. That is what they will see. What they are not supposed to collect will not even be listed when they drop down the revenue. Is that okay? So that has been programmed on the system. Now the other part of the question is, what do you gain for being an agent? That is our question. Now because so far what they have done is run it themselves. Okay? Now, as far as they are concerned, you are doing your job. Unless, look at it now, you need to understand, unless you are a private person and you come to Lagos State and say, you've been getting 10 million from this center every month, from this informal center, from this particular area every month. Now, I want to do it for you, and I'm assuring you 20 million every month. Somebody is giving that to you. You've been doing over the years, for 20 years, for example, or for 5 years, for example, you've been doing 10 million every month from a particular area, and somebody says, I can give you 20 million from here. If you make me an agent, you make me your agent. And if you want to bring that kind of person in, this is the kind of system you want to use. Now look at what we do. Look at what it's there, it's been programmed. It's just that you've not opened it up to private agents. When they come in, they will give you their security deposits. If they want to do 20 million, they will give you that 20 million and program it into the system. They have given you the 20 million, right? And they tell you they are going to be giving it to you. So they will not enter the feed. How they are going to get the money is not your problem. As far as you're concerned, you actually have the money. You've actually collected the money. So they will now go, and everything they do, if they do more than 20 million, it will show them. Everything they do will be reported on the system. And you can either be giving them commission per transaction or per meeting of targets.
But it's what you
that is the business angle.
It's what you enter that you get.
Yes.
If I don't enter 21 million, if I make 20 million and I enter 20 million,
if you design your business MOU to be such that if you exceed 20 million, you get your commission. I'm telling you, that guy will always do more than that. Do you know? He will. She just said something that some taxpayers came during the downtime, and afterwards, when the system came up, they never came back. You know that if it's a private person, that money will come back. That money will not even go. God bless you. That is the angle you are looking at. But you have not started doing that. You are not doing that because of the financial regulations in place. That is actually what is stopping that. The CBN regulatory policies. So, the last question, please. Sir, you wanted to ask me something. That means you don't have any other question. You're going to ask me on AI, right?
No. My question is very simple. Does it mean that this is still a test, or has it started operating? Or do we design as we need it, design as we need it?
I have said that it's been on for more than 3 years. You've been using it for more than 3 years. Like I said before I started.
No, you specified that that's what the bank has been using.
No. I try to compare what the bank does with what the agent PPCA does. PPCA means Prepayment Collection Agency. I'm just using PPCA for short. So that the bank can no longer come and tell you it's so difficult to process transaction. Was it difficult for us? This is what they are expected to do after the PID has been created. That's simple.
And it might even be too small for the banks to handle 2,000.
You know, they understand that we started from there. So instead of having 100 naira in 10, even in 10 places for the bank, it's a problem. 10 people because they want to pay 100 naira. It's better we, take care of such things.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, have you mentioned other agencies that have been implementing this particular?
Yes, I've mentioned MBA. I've mentioned. It's in the manual. That's
I don't think they know.
I've mentioned MBA. I've mentioned. Look at page 34. Page 34. Current coverage area. Yes. Lagos Inland Revenue Service, that's you. And I'm actually talking about the informal sector here. The Motor Vehicle Administration Agency, the MPA authorities, the local government, Lagos State Water Corporation. Last month. These are places where you are already using the system. With this, I hope we have done justice to the domain. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Okay, we appreciate him, please. I believe you did enjoy his presentation. Yes. You did.